hustle. Some people had both, a dangerous combination. A couple steps ahead of any sticky situation. Know when to make the move and know when to stay and be patient. And just because you're flesh and blood doesn't make you related. She used to tell me a story about the amazing glaze. Him and your pops was like brothers, but that nigga was crazy. Me in early, late 80s, Brooklyn, the murder capital. Where it wasn't frowned on if you had to bust a cat or two. Just keep it rational.
And Larry Hoover is making a long shot bid for his release. He's 73 years old now. Made his first public court appearance in years today, speaking to a district judge via video conference. He was given a life sentence back in 1998 for racketeering, prison, while serving time for murder. His legal team is pushing for a resentencing under the First Step Act. That's a 2018 law signed by President Donald Trump at the time that made certain sentencing reforms retroactive.
While we recognize the seriousness of the offenses for which he's convicted, we believe that there's been evolving attitudes about excessively harsh sentences, and that life in prison at ADX is basically just being buried alive.
Hoover is the co-founder of the Gangster Disciples. Ruling is expected sometime next month.
Hey, good day, everybody, man. Listen, man. Hey, God is good. Hey, look what happened. It doesn't matter how we start, it's how we finish. When you sit back and you think about it, how many of us, right now is different nationality get caught up into that street life, and sometime right now is we get a life sentence at the very beginning. You look at a person like Larry Hoover. You know what? His name been known, recognized in rap song. You know what my man Rick Rosie say? I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover's from Chicago. He been in jail for forever and a day. What, over 50 years? Now, Trump has commuted Larry Hoover's sentence. The president, on a pardon spree, shortened the infamous former gang leader's sentence after years of advocate pressing for his release. President Donald Trump has commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover, the infamous former gang leader from Chicago, according to a White House official. Hoover, the co-founder of Chicago Gangster Disciples, has been serving multiple life sentences since 1970. He had multiple state and federal convictions, including for murder and founding a criminal enterprise. He has made repeated requests to shorten his sentence, included under the First Step Act, a criminal justice reform bill passed during Trump's first term. So he was able to take advantage of that. You know who else was able to take advantage of that? Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols. But look at this. Here it is right now is they both got the opportunity to take advantage of the First Step Act, but they will both remain incarcerated. Larry Hoover, because once again, they waiting on a ruling. But besides that, even if the federal government go ahead and release Larry Hoover, he's still owed and convicted under Illinois state law of life sentence. The same thing with Fat Cat. He was able to get out of the 40 years. He did the 40 years for the feds with his good time. He did 25 to life for the state. Kept getting hit at the parole board, but what wound up happening? Here it is right now. He would have been free and clear, but he caught a case when he was in Florida, white boy Rick, with that stolen car ring. So once again, they was both eligible to be released, but once again, they got some uphill battle. So at the end of the damn day, right now is, man, listen, hopefully, the state of Illinois would have some compassion and take everything into account and look at Larry Hoover not as a young menace, but as an elder spokesperson that can basically come back out and help the Chicago community and help with the gang culture, letting them know, speaking for somebody that everybody wants to look up to. People never met, but guess what? His name is legendary. So once again, if he's able to get out, get in front of these young kids and able to denounce gang culture, then guess what? A lot of life could be saved. A lot of life could be preserved. So once again, it's not how we start, it's how we continue. So to me, I am the real Brian Glaze Gibbs. If I can change, anybody can change. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, support. One love.
Guess what happened? Yeah, I'm a minute. Because Brian had associated himself with probably the most ruthless and notorious
cocaine crack enterprise in the city, that being Howard Happy Mason and Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols.
NYPD rookie police officer was murdered, executioner style. And as I'm listening to that, I'm like, whoa.
You actually dealt with Brian Glaze-Lives, huh?
I dealt with him years ago, back in the 80s, early 90s. I was with he was arrested by my partner back in those days for several murders himself.
Not bad. I was given to me by a police officer in New York called Matt Byrne, whose son was gunned down by these drug dealers up there in New York City.
Glaze was probably within the top 10 people in the city, but I'm going to say that he was probably one of the top 2 or 3 in Brooklyn. Drug dealers, and controlled the drug organization.
And you know what I did? When I got the phone, I told my man, the next time we see him, he's out of here.
Yeah.
Less than 12 hours, that nigga was dead.
Yeah,
Is this the second person you murdered?
No. Because, like right now, if you're going by the timeline, by that time, there's a few more before him.
You know, I heard so many good things about you. What I really like is, I know you're a tough guy. And I've known that for quite a while. And you changed your life, and you're coming around, and you're right. We're from New York. We're New Yorkers. No matter what color you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what you are. You know, we're New Yorkers.
Well, he was a drug kingpin himself. He was a drug lord himself back in those days, and he operated out of Brooklyn, East New York, and you know, he committed a lot of violent acts himself. So, if anybody knows the streets, I mean, he knows the streets.
Tottenham.
Yeah, you gotta worry about them guys. But we only have to worry about those guys in Vanderveer and stuff. You know, we all knew Glaze and Tutton, all those guys.
Yeah.
I know Glaze, Supreme Team. What up, Glaze? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, inside the mind of the killer, the Brian Glaze Gibbs story. Okay, I'll check that out.